So, in an interview, Leon Edwards said that Colby Covington is in a total shock. That's right, he's in for a total shock. Why is that? Because Leon Edwards says, but I just can't see what he goes in there and does. I've been the active one. I'm the younger one. He hasn't beat no one under the age of 35, 36 since I don't know. If you're judging his wins off Robbie Lawler, Woodley and Masvidal, he's in for a total shock. What's going to happen on fight night? Okay, now, while he's not wrong, he isn't wrong. Colby Covington's wins, you know, they are over older fighters. Jorge, older fighter at the time. Uh, Tyron Woodley, definitely an older fighter at the time. And Robbie Lawler, definitely an older fighter at the time. But this is the pot calling the kettle black. Like it really is. Let's look at Leon Edwards' recent wins. Okay, he's got a win over 35-year-old Kamaru Usman. 35-year-old Kamaru Usman. He's a BMF, yes. He's the second greatest welterweight of all time. So obviously it's a good win. Obviously Colby didn't beat him. That's not the point I'm making. The fact is, Leon Edwards mentioned he hasn't beaten anyone under the age of 35. Kamaru Usman, as good as he is, second greatest welterweight of all time in my opinion, he still wasn't under 35. Then he fought Nate Diaz to get his title fight. 36-year-old Nate Diaz. That is equivalent to the Jorge win for Colby Covington, in my opinion. Even though we've seen Colby Covington go in there and beat the... Sorry, we've seen Jorge Masvidal go in there and beat the absolute shit out of Nate Diaz. Like, Jorge really put a bad beating on him. Much better performance than Leon Edwards. And then, obviously Colby Covington went in there and beat Jorge Masvidal. Obviously, two or three fights after that, he lost to Kamaru Usman twice. But still, I'd say that win for Colby Covington is better than the Nate Diaz win, especially because, I guess Colby and Leon both sort of got rocked, but Jorge's at least, is known for having some pop in his shots. Nate Diaz is known for being a bit pillow-fisted, especially as a lightweight. And Leon Edwards got literally rocked by a 36-year-old lightweight Nate Diaz. Doesn't really rock anybody, but he rocked Leon Edwards pretty badly. Then his next fight was against Belal Muhammad, but technically because it was a no contest, he didn't beat Belal Muhammad. So you can't count that win. He fought Rafael dos Anjos. And I'll give it to him. He was under 35. He was 34 years and 8 months. But he beat an older Rafael dos Anjos than Colby Covington did. Colby Covington beat him first. When did Leon Edwards fought him in 2019? Covington beat him in 2018. While he was coming off a really good streak of wins over Tarek Safradine, Neil Magny, Robbie Lawler. That's when Colby Covington beat him. He beat him when he was 33 years old. Leon Edwards had to beat him when he was 34 and he was almost 50. Jesus Christ, I was about to say 55. No, he didn't age that quickly. When he was, he was close to 35. Then obviously that Gunnar Nelson fight. Gunnar Nelson's a younger fighter. It was a split decision, but that shouldn't have been a split decision. Leon Edwards clearly won that. But then in 2018, who did Leon Edwards beat in 2018? He beat 35 years old, 2 months and 3 weeks and 4 days old Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and it was decently competitive. So I don't know. I feel like Leon Edwards is probably fucking roaming MMA Twitter or something, and he's feeding in all them narratives because the people he's beating are not much younger than the guys Colby Covington's beating. Like, the narrative that he's trying to put out there that, Colby Covington's an old man beater. Yeah, he does beat older fighters. That's, that generally is true. Colby Covington's not beating young guys, but Leon Edwards saying this about anyone is so fucking funny to me. Because obviously, yes, he beat Kamaru Usman and Colby lost to him, but at least Colby fought him when he was under the age of 35, He fought Kamaru in his prime, and Kamaru Usman was not in his prime for them Leon Edwards fight. I know he looked good in that Kamaru Usman fight, in the Leon Edwards, the second fight, but obviously you can tell Kamaru Usman still isn't that same fighter, especially. I would say he's stopped being the same fighter probably that Gilbert Burns fight. Just because he had a big change in his style. Obviously, he did wrestle against Leon Edwards, but he had to go more to like a boxing type of style because his knees were just toast. I know he did wrestle a lot in that Leon Edwards fight, but he just doesn't move the same as he was in like the Tyron Woodley performances. Still, obviously, a good fighter and everything. I'm just saying. Then Colby Covington. Colby Covington beat Brian Barberina before Leon Edwards did, I believe. Yeah, he did. Had a much better performance. Leon Edwards almost got chin there. So, and Max Griffin, only person to finish Max Griffin is fucking Colby Covington. He's the only one to finish him with strikes. Michael Morales couldn't do that. So I just think this is a weird narrative for Leon Edwards to push. Just like, because you're literally Leon Edwards. Look at your wins. Like, literally look at your wins. Like, obviously, Jorge was what, 37, so yeah, he's a bit older. Tyron Woodley's, yeah, he's probably older than those wins. Like, but just the fact he said under 35 is what I'm like taking issue with, especially because Leon Edwards was booked against Jorge Masvidal as well, like before he fought Colby. So it's like, what are you even fucking saying? You wanted to fight all of these guys. You were booked against Tyron Woodley the same year Colby fought him. Like, you literally wanted to fight this guy. Like, what are you talking about? And then you were booked against, like I said, he was booked against Tyron Woodley, was booked against Jorge. So, he was literally fighting these same, he was booked against these same guys he's giving Colby shit for. It's like, you could say all this shit, but it's not like he's losing to younger guys. He's just beating older guys. Like, we actually haven't seen Colby Covington fight a young guy for a fucking while. Like, I think the youngest guy he does have a win over is Brian Barberina, 34. How old's Max Griffin? I think Max Griffin's a bit older, isn't he? Yeah, he's 38. Oh, Jesus, he's a lot older than I thought he was. Looks pretty good for his age. But yeah, like I'm saying, like, I guess Jason Jackson's not too old, is he? 33. Yeah, I'd say Jason Jackson, he's about the same age as Leon Edwards. And Colby's beat him, so, and he is a really good fighter. Jason Jackson, really good fighter. Obviously, had that dominant performance over Yaroslav Amosov, where he knocked him out, took his O. He was 27-0. Colby Covington was the one who took Jason Jackson's O. Obviously, it was in his second fight, 11 years ago. People improve, but still, man, like, he's still a fucking unit. Like, he's a physical specimen. I think Colby would probably still beat him today as well. But still, that's like a really good win for Colby Covington to have. But obviously, yeah, it was his second fight, so I'm sure Jason Jackson has improved a shit ton since then, like, obviously. But still, that is a young guy he's beat. Obviously, Leon Edwards isn't just beating old men either. He did beat Albert Tumanov back in the day. I think, how old's Tumanov? Tumanov is 24, so he was younger. Beat Vicente Luque as well. So, it's not like I'm saying Leon Edwards is just an old man beater, but his wins recently have all been older fighters himself. The same as Colby. It's just because this division's so stagnant, not many people fight in this division, unfortunately. Like, this division is fucking so AIDS that the top guys just remain at the top because nobody's fighting all these younger guys. That's why all these guys are beating older fighters. I don't think Colby Covington has a fucking elderly beating fetish. I don't think, oh, give me the oldest fighter in the division, please. Oh, yes. Like, I don't think that's something that happens with Colby Covington's mind. I don't think he's begging the UFC matchmakers, oh, bring Clay Guida to welterweight for me now. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's something that's gone through Colby Covington's head. I don't think he's begging for fucking Francisco Trinaldo to be re-signed to the UFC. I don't think he gets off to beating these older fighters. I just think it's a coincidence. Honestly, I generally do. You know, apparently, according to Dana and Colby himself, they were trying to get that Hamza fight, but I think him missing weight against Kevin Holland really, fucked them plans up. So I generally don't think he is ducking all these fights or anything. Like, I actually don't. I know that is a narrative that a lot of people push, but I don't think I could be wrong. Who knows? But it seemed like he really did want to fight Hamza Chimaev uh, last year, right after that Nate Diaz slash Kevin Holland fights were booked and everything. But they're not going to trust Hamza Chimaev to come back down to welterweight after that, which is why now he's stuck at middleweight. Like, at least that's what I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Dana did mention something along the lines of, we're trying to get that fight together. That kid wants to fight. That kid hasn't turned a single fight down. I remember him saying that when Colby Covington came out as the replacement for the Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards trilogy fight. He did say that he hasn't turned any fights down. He's like, this kid's pushing to fight. This kid really wants to fight. He's chopping at the bits to get in there and fight. He did say that. So obviously, I'm going to take his word for it. I can't imagine why he would lie. Normally Dana gets pretty pissed off about guys who sit out. He wouldn't normally reward them with a title fight. So I do think there is some truth to what Colby's saying. I think he did want to fight these young and up and coming guys like Hamzat Chimaev, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we can't even find out. But I mean, I'll take Dana's word for it. I know Dana. He tells lies, sweet little lies. Dana White's, he tells a lot of sweet little lies. But I'll take his word for it. There's no benefit for him to really lie here. Like, generally isn't. If Colby was turning down fights, he just would have like pushed for him to fight like Shavkat Rakhmonov or some up and coming anti wrestling grappler or something like that. I feel like he wouldn't have just gave him a title fight. Maybe he would have. Who fucking knows? Dana White's weird sometimes. He'll get the most random people privileges at times, and then he won't give other people the same privilege. So it's weird. I don't know. Dana White's brain. I really want to. I'd love to be a psychologist and just investigate what goes through Dana White's mind sometimes. But still, getting into what I'm saying, just a weird narrative for Leon Edwards to push. Like, I swear, does he just not look at the age of his opponents he's fought? Does he just imagine they're all young fellas or something? Like, I don't understand the narrative he's pushing. Especially because it's not a good look for himself. Like, especially the mentioning the under 35 part. Like, your last win over under 35 was Rafael dos Anjos. You and Colby both share that win. Like, literally, you both share that win, but Colby beat him when he was younger. Like, I don't know. Just a interesting narrative. I feel like he's just seen this on Twitter. He's seen the stat and he's like, oh, that's funny. I'm going to use that for trash talk. But, like, you literally do it yourself. I find it funny, man. I do. Like, I love when fighters call fighters out for doing shit. You literally do. Like, it's such an ironic thing. Obviously, Leon Edwards has the bragging rights. He is the one who has beat Kamaru Usman. Colby doesn't technically ever win. Although you could argue that second Kamaru Usman fight with Colby was a draw. Like, I generally do believe you could make that a draw. Obviously, a 10-8 in there because Usman really did. Like, I think he dropped Colby twice in one round. So obviously that probably should have been a 10-8 round there. But then you could argue Colby won 3 rounds. But they gave it to Kamaru. So yeah, technically Colby doesn't have a win over Kamaru and Leon Edwards does. But even then, Leon Edwards was getting dominated much worse than Colby Covington was. Like, people forget that. Kamaru Usman was literally dominating Leon Edwards in that second fight before he got KO'd. Like, obviously people know he was up, but he was literally doing what he wanted. If Herb Dean didn't come in and break up the clinch he had against the fence, he literally would have been scot-free. He was literally like seconds away from getting that fight done, but obviously if that's a maybes, he didn't. He got knocked out. And yeah, on paper, Leon Edwards is 2-1 against Kamaru Usman, which rightfully he should be. But like, I'm just saying, there is a lot there, not an asterisk, but there is more context that people need to understand, like, towards that performance. It was a massive comeback victory, but like, just looking at the stylistic matchup, he was getting taken down a lot there, and Colby Covington was literally, he couldn't get taken down. He was having success against Kamaru for all of them fights. He was back and forth. Obviously, he took a bit to get, himself going in that second fight with Kamaru Usman. I think he had a bit of ring rust or something. He just didn't look very confident in them first few rounds, but he eventually came back, third, fourth, and fifth. and put on a good performance. I think him getting dropped maybe woke him up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see the fight with Leon Edwards. Maybe Colby will have that same mentality where he'll take a bit for him to get woken up in there. Maybe he'll come out a bit hesitant, sorry, against Leon Edwards. But I guess we'll have to find out and see. It's next week. Can't wait. Can't wait for the presser as well. The presser should be interesting. Hopefully Leon Edwards tries to bring it up, and hopefully Colby Covington has like it all written down. Like you beat this guy, and your last time you beat a fighter younger than 35. You got my sloppy seconds or something like that. I feel like that's something Colby Covington should really try and utilize in the trash talk because it is a fact. Like it is a fact. So if you're gonna use some trash talk against Leon Edwards, maybe there is some factual stuff you could say as well as calling him like Leon Scissorhands and calling him a cheater and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, that's all I've got to say in this video. Make sure you give this video a like. Let me know your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on Leon Edwards calling Colby Covington an old man beater? Like, like, come on, man. Like, we got to be honest here. Like, come on. You can't push that narrative. You can't push that narrative, Leon Edwards. Like, come on, man. But anyway, yeah, like I say, if you've made it this far, like the video, let me know your thoughts on this video. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe, put on them notifications, share this video. I don't care who you share it to. You can share it to fucking, I don't know, share it to your pastor, your imam, your monk, uh, your local scientist. I don't care. Share it to anyone you want. As long as you share it, come on. Get me out there, you know. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.